So one of the criticism of schools and the whole schooling system as a whole is that we never teach kids, or at least teenagers, about finance, about money, and like about taxes and the whole system around that. Some people think that this could be some kind of a conspiracy theory, and the schooling system is designed in a way to keep kids and students just in the dark about this, and have them figure it out, if they ever do, figure it out in the hard way when they actually grow up and become adults and productive people who make money. But for me, I think it's not really the case. I think the reason that we are not really taught about finance and about money is because at one point in time in history, probably before the 20th century, the money used to simply work. So it was working and people did not really need to know much about it. You just have money in your pocket and you just use it and it works. It was fine. And I'm talking about basically schools in Europe. And if you live in Lebanon, also like the schooling system is really important in places like Europe, especially France, for example. And so this schooling system does not really focus on money, because in the 19th century Europe, money simply used to work. It's like breathing air. You don't have to like teach people how to breathe. It just works. People know how to do it, and it's fine. You don't really have to wake people up about the idea of money and finances. And also during that time, the entire finance sector was not really as complicated, sophisticated as it is today. We did not have this huge stock market. We did not have a debt-based society. We did not have all these financial instruments that you can actually use. And we did not have, of course, Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies in general, and we did not have the internet to do all these things. And even if there was like a stock market for sure, but it was not as easily accessible as it is today, whereas today you just go in on some app and buy whatever you want. So one of the reasons why schooling system does not teach us about finances is because the schooling system kind of backwards, and it did not really develop throughout the years as much as it should have been developing. And so we're still, to a certain degree, still like being taught the same system that was taught probably in the 19th century. Of course, some changes have happened. The technologies that we have today have been integrated in some schools, but in some schools really do teach about finance like that. I'm just talking in general, talking about public schools and even some private schools. Yeah, they do not teach about these things. If you're not aware of this, I have a Twitter or X account on which I post a lot of threads. I talk about a lot of topics that I also talk about on this YouTube channel, but you can follow me there for all these great things that I write about. You can check my profile in the description of this video, but also I have started a newsletter. So if you're interested to getting all this stuff, all of my writings and everything that I do straight to your email mailbox, then also subscribe to my newsletter in the description of this video. Now back to the video. Another reason why I think the schooling system does not teach about money and finances and taxes and all of that is because the way the school is designed is to really imitate the factory. So back in the 19th century, as people were getting accustomed to the industrial life that they were living in, that brought a lot of prosperity and changed a lot of people's ways and lifestyle. So the school was trying to not really teach kids how to be entrepreneurs and how to take care of their own money and how to make more money, so to speak. The goal of the school was really to just prepare kids to be productive people who are perfect to work in a factory. So if you look at how the school is really designed, is that you come in, you check in at like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or whatever, and you leave at like 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. and then you have to like follow a certain schedule where you just finish one period, then you go to the next, and you have to like get tested and see if you know everything you've been taught. And so you're just basically being prepared to be this committed person, this productive person, and this person who can actually follow the rules, just be as committed as possible. And we kind of still are following this model, even though most of us who go to school will not end up working in a factory, but we're still kind of following this model. And because the school and the public system is kind of complicated and full of bureaucracy, and it's not really easy to change, and that is for very good reasons in other parts, where the government cannot really change stuff easily. Because it cannot change the public schooling system, it's really hard to move on from this model into something that is more in line with modern society and what kind of job kids will have to take on when they become adults. Anyway, like, just to put that aside, we can just establish that the schooling system does not really focus on finance, does not really focus on money. We grow up not understanding what money is. Some people, even in their adulthood, they don't really understand how money works and where it comes from and how it is produced at the base. And so we really don't understand how all of this works. But for me, I feel like if kids, maybe teenagers, understood how money works and how investment works and how really you should have money that creates more money for you, because if you just leave your money as it is, it's losing its value due to inflation. So if really kids understood that if you have some money and you put it somewhere in the stock market, I'm not gonna even say Bitcoin, if you just put it in the stock market, and you know that if you just keep on putting money in there with time, and you understand that how this stock market works, it's just gonna keep going up in value compared to the dollar, or compared to any fiat currency for that matter, you would just start as soon as possible with investment. So really, the school system does not favor kids to do that. Instead, it just encourages them to get into school, get into university, get into higher education, even further than that. And according to kids growing up to become adults, they think this is the right path. It really could be the right path for a lot of people. A university degree is very valuable, could generate a lot of income for you in the future. It's like investing in yourself right now to be able to generate more money in the future. But at the same time, it really kids, teenagers underestimate the importance of generating some money when you are that age. If you are like a 16-year-old and you understand that if you do a part-time job, you can save up at least 20% of it for yourself, and you invest that money in stock market or in Bitcoin, you can at least understand that if you start doing that at 16-year-old, I'm not saying you should like give up on education altogether, but if you have a part-time job and you understand that if you put money in the market, by the time you are 26, and if you keep doing that consistently, by the time you are 26 and you are well in your more serious career where you have like a full-time job maybe, and you're probably starting to think of engagement and probably even marriage. If you started investing at 16, you have like 10 years of investment. You could easily have a lot of saving to do something meaningful, to probably buy a car, to probably buy a house, to probably have enough money to do things that you've always wanted to do, to travel around, to be comfortable with your own position, to have more financial freedom to do whatever you want. And even if you get laid off from work, you have this reserve money that you can fall back on to survive. But if you really start working at the age of 23 or 24, and you're full of student debt, and you're just starting to work, and you really don't understand how finance works, because when you actually start having a job, if you work in any other field that you don't really understand, economics or finance or how money works, you're not gonna think that I'm gonna put all of my money in the stock market, save some money for investments. It's gonna be really hard for you to reach the age of 30 and have enough money to start a family, start a family, buy a house, buy a car, or even do the things that you've always wanted to do, like travel, buy this one thing that you've always wanted to buy. And you will not have the financial freedom to do what you want. Like even if you start investing as soon as possible, you can even start your own business. You can become financially independent in that way. You can go completely independent and be your own boss by the age of 26 or 30 or maybe even 35, which is great because a lot of people by that age probably don't have a lot of savings even. So the point that I'm trying to make from this video is that we should make kids aware of finance, of money, of investment as soon as possible. It really sucks that we need to have kids worried about money at an early age. But that's really the reality of things. We live in a world where the money is just not working anymore. So we cannot really tell kids that, yeah, you will just graduate at the age of 21 or 22 or 23 and you will get a job that is enough for you to buy a house and buy a car and get married and have kids. That's really not realistic. Kids really, with the current environment, students in school need to start thinking about these things as early as possible and start investing, and by the age of mid-20s that probably be on the right path to financial freedom, to maybe start a business, to maybe start a family, buy a house, whatever. So that's really it for this video. Just a quick video I wanted to make to shed light on this issue. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter, which will be in the description of this video. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, please leave them in the comments. And that's it for this video. So I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.